What I have done is initially I have recorded continuously, so which has come around 1 hour. So as I mentioned, I'll try to adhere to maximum half an hour video. So in that context, what I have done is this curved beams section only. This theory part I have split into two parts. So part one, wherein I have narrated quickly upon learning objectives, that is showing the Excel sheet. After that, one video was played which was not mine actually. So that is the straight beam, and after that narration, whatever that video this thing was there, I tried my level best to do the narration. Okay, so with that notepad, and in this particular part 2, it is a continuation. Basically part 2, we will see what this curved beam is all about, and again I will be doing the comparison again, same with a notepad only. I will try my level best to explain. So after that we will see in the next further. Okay, in this part I have kept only the theory bit of that. So numericals we will see in the subsequent parts, continuation of this chapter only. Right, after seeing that straight beam, directly will plunge into curved beam. In fact, what it was shown there and what I have shown here, there is a lot of changes. You just observe that was that straight beam was actually done in a manner to bend it towards the center of curvature. Now the center of curvature, it was in the top side actually earlier, but now it is in the bottom side. And always remember one more thing, it is very important in your professional also. These curved beams are loaded in such a way that the link, that curvature will not be closed, it will be opened in the sense, I'll just try to narrate. So just have a quickly glance. So that center of curvature is here, center of curvature. So I have just mentioned center of curvature is here, and with respect to this particular beam is bent. Okay, of course I have shown this as a 3D form, which this is going to be the outside this thing. Okay, that arrow outside this thing, this is the top layer, this is a totally top layer, and you can just see this is RO is outside radius, or R suffix O refers, it is outer radius, and R suffix I, okay, R suffix I with respect to center of curvature, it is inner radius. Okay, and this middle one, okay, so this middle one whatever is shown, that is R or sometime RG, it is one and the same, R or RG. That is earlier in the last this thing I have shown, that is centroidal or geometrical axis, it is one and the same, centroidal or geometrical axis. That narration is R only. Okay, so that is R only, and sorry, I think okay, R only, one second. So this R only, so that is what is been shown over here. So this is going to be the mid of this particular height. Okay, so and the this particular curve, this bent curved beam is applied with a bending moment M and M. Okay, so such that this particular beam is opened. Okay, that opened in the sense what, it is not closing with respect to curvature, center of curvature, it is applied in such a way that this one this bent this thing is going to be opened, something like that. Okay, try to visualize. Under that circumstance, what you can notice is the fibers at the inner side. Okay, the fibers at inner side, they are subjected for tensile type of loading, which I have mentioned, and fibers on the top side, they are subjected for compressive type of loading for this particular bending moment. Compressive type of stresses are developed, not loading, compressive type of stresses are developed, and that is on the outer fiber, and tensile type of stresses are developed at the inner fiber. Okay, so one more thing what you can notice is because of this curvature effect, okay, because of this curvature effect, you notice that these particular fibers are get piled up, or something called as a stress concentration is going to occur at inner fiber because of curvature effect, and that fibers are jammed means that packed up, actually they are packed up actually. Because of that, what happens, there is going to be stress concentration, that curvature effect, and then fibers are more tightly this thing sort of binding, okay, and then because of that there is going to be stress concentration. Because of stress concentration, you have already learnt, because of stress concentration what happens, stress will be more. So what does that indicate? Here also in curved beam, stress will be more at inner fiber and stress will be less at outer fiber. Okay, so in the nutshell, what you are supposed to know, you are supposed to know the geometrical axis, you are supposed to know the type of bending load, and you are supposed to know the center of curvature, and you are supposed to know the R and this thing and type of loading. Okay, and again we'll just see the stress pattern how it is, okay, in this particular. So stress pattern, in fact, I think I did a mistake over here, that one second, I'll just remove this. Okay, I'll just remove this. I'll just remove. Okay, so what I can say is this particular stress pattern, it is with respect to this. Okay, with respect to this, of course the magnitude is more over here, I think, that one second, so I'll just show that magnitude. So magnitude is something like this, more, let us say that more magnitude on the bottom side and less magnitude. Magnitude means that quantity of the stress from this point to this point, okay, whatever that magnitude, it is less. So this particular stress pattern, it is not straight as I mentioned in the previous slide for straight beam. It is a curvilinear stress pattern, okay, it is a curvilinear stress pattern, and more stress is on the this thing. Okay, what is the kind of stress? That kind of stresses developed are tensile in nature, and kind of stresses developed on the top are compressive in nature. You can notice that practically, of course, we will check that, actually we will only believe only when we solve the problem. But now you listen, it is noticed that 70% more, okay, 70% more what do you say, 70% more stresses, okay, 70% more one second, more stresses, so continuity is there, so that scribbling actually, stress, okay, 70% more stresses are going to be acted at the centroidal, the inner fiber comparative to straight fiber. And again, what about on the outer fiber? Outer fiber, only 30% of the straight beam stresses, whatever they are, so that compared to straight beam, only 30% of stresses are going to be acted in curved beam on the outer fiber, and 70% more stresses are going to be applied on the inner fiber of curved beam as compared to the straight beam. Okay, that you have to understand. And stress pattern is not straight, it is curvilinear. And one more thing I just forgot here, so that is, one is this is what is this? This is a geometrical axis. Okay, I will call it as CG. Okay, and then the next one, there is, I have shown one more axis here, so this I'll mark with another this thing. So this is called as neutral axis. So there is some gap in between from geometrical axis to neutral axis. This is called as eccentricity E. E is the eccentricity, and always remember this neutral axis is smaller than geometrical axis. If you just take it from the centroidal, so they designate by R suffix n. Okay, R suffix n, And what about this? It is simply R or RG. It is simply R or RG. Okay, so this I told, or RG, R or RG. So that is the CG axis, and neutral axis is RN with respect to center of curvature, and the difference between those two is called as eccentricity, and the stress pattern is curvilinear. And what you are supposed to note, understand, 70% more stresses are going to be acted as compared to the straight beam at inner fiber, and only 30% of the stresses as compared to the straight beam are going to be acted at the outer fiber. And the load is applied in such a way that, okay, of course sometime this may not be, but in professional you try to understand, in the curved this thing element, always load is applied in such a way that bending load, bending moment, so that that particular section is going to be opened up. So in that context, so there the stresses at the bottom fiber are going to be compressive in tensile in nature, and stresses at the outer fiber are going to be compressive in nature. Okay, so this is a thumb rule, but in some of the cases you also notice that it may be other way around. That is, if the bending moment is applied in the other direction, so what you can notice, compressive type of stresses are acting on the bottom side, and then tensile type of stresses are acting on the top side. Okay, suppose if it is applied in this, generally it is a rare actually. So if this is the case, then what happens, it will be opposite. So tensile will come on the top, and then compressive will come in the bottom. So try to understand with respect to, and the rest of the things will remain same. Rest of the things means what? Neutral axis remains at the towards the center of curvature all the time, and the geometrical axis will be at the middle of this particular height, or middle of this particular cross section. Okay, so that is the geometrical axis. It remains always same, always this thing. And difference between the geometrical axis and neutral axis is, as it is going to be eccentricity E. Okay, so this you should understand. And equations for that is, you have two different equations. I'll just try to scribble it over here so that you can understand better. So there are two which there is no derivation. We call it as sigma bending at inner fiber. Okay, that is equal to sigma bi equal to, okay, one sec, bi equal to MCI, I'll explain what is that CI, divided by AERI. Okay, AERI. So what is that? A is cross section area. Okay, cross section area of beam. Okay, and what is E? E is the eccentricity. I think I have narrated eccentricity. That is, eccentricity is what? Basically difference between geometrical axis and neutral axis. And what about Ri? It is inner radii. What is that inner radii? Radii. What is that inner radii? From the center of curvature to inner fiber. And what about M? M is bending moment applied. Okay, bending moment. What is this CI? CI is distance between neutral axis and inner fiber. What is that CI? It is a distance between neutral axis and inner fiber. I'll try to I think I'll draw once again and then show that. Okay, and what is this sigma bi? Sigma bi is bending stress. Okay, bending stress at I means at inner fiber. And similarly, you have one more expression for outer fiber. So that will be I'll write that sigma BO. Okay, O means outer fiber, B is bending, sigma B is bending, so equal to, that is MCO divided by AERO. Okay, AERO. This that equation number in the data book I will be telling later. Okay, so as of now you just understand. So sigma BO is at outer fiber, M is same. What is that M? Bending moment. Okay, M is bending moment, and this is bending moment, and CO is distance between outer fiber and neutral axis. A is the cross section, E is the eccentricity, RO is from the center of curvature the distance between the outer fiber, RO, outer fiber. Okay, so these are the stresses, and depending upon the type of stresses, that outer fiber, what is that? It is a negative. Why it is negative? For the applied load, whatever I have shown. Okay, earlier it is going to be that, earlier means here if you just see that green colored, okay, green color, that is a regular, so outer fiber it is going to be compressive, so in that context it is going to be negative, and inner fiber it is going to be tensile, green colored you refer. So this is in fact nothing is mentioned means what? Automatically it is understood that it is a positive. Why it is, what is that positive? It is our sign convention. Tensile stresses we consider as a positive stresses, and for compressive stresses we consider as a negative stresses. Okay, so quickly I will show you what is that CICO. Okay, I'll just try to draw. So I think earlier what I did, I had drawn that and then I have just projected, because sometimes this it creates a lot of problem. See that if I lift my finger on my from my screen again, that creates a problem. Okay, so this is the problem. Okay, okay, so this is try to understand, this is a CG, and with respect to CG in your data book they have given CC, they have given C, simply C and then C. Okay, otherwise I think in some of the, okay, C only it is given. This is a geometrical axis or centroidal axis, and I will use another color so that understanding will be better. So this red color, hope you can able to see or distinguish. So this red color, it is going to be the neutral axis. Okay, so just forgive me this neutral, so neutral axis, so I'll just write NA. Okay, NA, and this is uniform. Actually the distance is going to be uniformly maintained, but since I am drawing with the free hand, it is not, so the difference between is E. Okay, the center of curvature is somewhere here. Okay, so you just take it, so from here to here, so this is going to be RN. I think in very first slide I have shown, and I'll use other color so that there will not be any confusion. So from here, okay, so this is going to be simply R. Okay, and what is that CI and CO? It is CI, I'll use same color. Okay, so from that one second, this is the problem, from inner fiber, okay, from neutral axis, okay, from inner fiber to the neutral axis, from here to here, so this is going to be CI. Difference between neutral axis and inner fiber is CI, and CO I will be using I and O, but in your data book while solving you may little get irritated because they have used C1 C2, so one and the same. I think we will just check. So this is going to be this is going to be, I think, CO. Okay, so that is outer fiber and then neutral axis, that is CO. Okay, and then inner fiber and neutral axis, that is going to be CI, and from the geometrical axis it is CC. Okay, don't get confused while solving this. CC means it is going to be with respect to geometrical axis, CI, CO or C1. I think I have to refer the data book C1, C2. While solving the problem I will tell only this is the this thing. Okay, so what we have understood, so whatever the terminologies are coming, CO is what? Here CO is from neutral axis, whatever the distance of outer fiber, so that is CO. RO is what? It is from the centroidal axis. So try to understand this. I have shown already. So once again, so that is from centroidal axis to the outside, this is RO, and from centroidal axis that inner fiber is, so this is RI. So what I told in the this thing only, beginning only, so try to listen to me and along with me, okay, you make your own notes, try to scribble this figure so that everything will be clear, okay, for you. So this is what is I wanted to tell. Equation I have told, and how it is going to be different from straight beam, that also I had told, and what are the stresses, that also I had told. And again, you may notice that if you draw the free body diagram, in addition to what you say bending stress, you also have some direct stress. It is basically combined stress, okay. Direct stress will also be there. How do you find the direct stress? It is basically force upon area, okay. If a moment is given, I think there is no question of direct stress is going to come over there, but most of our applications are in such a way that so this crane hooks and all, moment is directly not given. This I'll just show that crane hook, so you may get some interesting. So this is one of the crane hook, okay. So it is something comes, I think you might have seen, okay, in gantry crane and all, you apply the some this thing, okay, that weight and all. So in a nutshell, what we will do, so we will consider, I'll just take it another color, okay. So we will consider this as some force acting downwards. So this force is acting downward, and generally the force is acting all along this axis of that, all along the axis of that. So if you take this particular load, no, so I'll just show that, okay. So of course I will be again narrating while what you say solving the problems. So I'll draw the free body diagram, okay. I'll just take a section. So if you just show that, so by the what you say superposition, force of superposition, you have to show the force over here. So this force has a direct tensile stress at this section. In addition to that, about this section, what this force does, it creates some sort of moment like this. So because of this moment, what happens, inner fiber, there will be, I think I use another color, I'll use another color. Inner fiber, there is going to be some such kind of tensile stress, and outer fiber, there is going to be such kind of compressive stress. So this moment, okay, so what happens, so these fibers will get tensile type of stress, and then the outer, there is going to be compressive type of stresses. So what you have to do, total stress, if it is asked, sigma total equal to, you have to find out total stress at outer fiber, total stress at inner fiber. So at outer fiber, it is sigma direct is going to be same. Sigma direct means what, load upon area. So this particular, so that remains same. Bending stress will be compressive in outer fiber, which has to be negative, okay. That is sigma B outer fiber, sigma B outer fiber O. And what about at inner fiber? Inner fiber, it is going to be sigma, one second. This I will be telling once again, okay. So try to understand, sigma total at inner fiber equal to sigma direct plus sigma bending inner, okay. Why it is positive? Because tensile type of stresses are going to I think I did a wrong this thing, so this one, tensile type of stresses are going to be acted at the inner fiber, and compressive stresses are going to be acted at the outer fiber because of such kind of moment, okay. So because of that, at inner fiber you will have the maximum stress, okay, compared to the outer fiber. So I think this I have narrated, okay. I think previously I have narrated, where just look into over here, okay. So I just told in this particular, one sec, I'll use other. So this particular part, you will have the more stresses compared to this particular part I have just narrated, okay. So I think I told 70% more stresses are going to act, okay. So we will realize this only when we solve the problems, okay. With this your theory part will be over. So what I will do, so there is no derivation as such, as I have mentioned. Equation I have told actually without any this thing. Differentiation I have told. This equation is derived based upon one particular theory. That theory is called as Winkler-Batch theory, Winkler, Winkler-Batch theory. and in the straight beam it is Euler's equation. Okay, the assumptions are same. What are the assumptions? Body is going to be linear, elastic, and then there is no wrappage of the sections before bending and after bending, and stress will be within the elastic limit, all that, whatever, blah blah, same assumptions are there, but only difference is both neutral axis and geometrical axis are not same in case of curved beam, but in case of straight beam both geometrical axis and neutral axis coincide one upon another. Because of that, stress distribution is linear, but here it is not linear, it is curvilinear. Okay, so this is what you are supposed to understand, and you should make the comparison. Okay, in a straight beam, that is whatever I have narrated, both central axis and neutral axis coincide with each other. This is due to the infinite radius of curvature, and part of it is considered as a straight beam basically. And variation of stress pattern across the depth is symmetric with respect to central axis and varies proportional to distance from neutral axis or central axis, because one and other are same. Okay, and beam is initially straight before bending, and it will be bent with infinite that radius, and hence treated as a straight beam even after bending also. These all should come in a straight beam, and equation m by I equal to sigma by y equal to E by R, that is a straight beam. Curved beam, other way around, both central axis and geometrical axis are not same, they are differentiated between a small distance called E, which is eccentric, and always neutral axis is smaller than the geometrical axis, and stress variation across the cross section is non-linear and non-symmetric with respect to neutral axis. Beam is initially curved, and stress formula is derived according to Winkler-Bach theory. The beam section again remains straight even after bending, here also curved beam, and equation you are supposed to know, that is sigma bi equal to mci divided by aeri, and mco equal to aero. And I believe that your data book, I think, yes, I got the data book. It is Mahadevan and Balvir Reddy, 4th edition, page number 160, 159, the curved beam, that is chapter number 10 is being given, and whatever I have told, that is a sigma I, sigma O. Okay, so I think it is CICO only, need not worry. Okay, that is a 10.1b equation, that is inner fiber, whatever I have told, MCI divided by AERI, that is 10.1b, page 159, and sigma O. Of course, B is not there because it is, I just narrated it is a bending in that context, so they have used only sigma I, sigma O, both are one and the same, they are basically bending stresses only. Okay, yeah, that is sigma O equal to minus MCO, why minus? Because it is a compressive type of stress at the outer fiber. MCO divided by AERO, equation number 10.1c, page number 159, chapter number 10 of your data book. So if you turn over the page number 160, so figure 10.1 and 10.2 they have given. Okay, and further if you just open, I'll just scan it and then I'll just show it while solving the problem. But quickly I will tell, on page number 162 there are various formulae for curved beams. That is the first one, first column, various cross sections are there: solid rectangular, solid circular, hollow circular, solid elliptical, hollow elliptical, triangular section, trapezium section. Turn over the page 164, it is T-beam, inverted T-beam and U-channel section, and then symmetric I-beam, and then hollow rectangular. Then the last one is unsymmetric I-beam, and the second one column is precise formulae for E, that is eccentricity, and approximate formula for Ki, that is stress concentration factor at inner fiber. Stress concentration factor for academics we are not considering, because hardly some 5 to 10% variation will come, even though you take, it is a more tedious. So in that context we leave that. And last column, if you are very particular, you can solve yourself, but I will not be doing any problem because it is out of this thing, our syllabus, this thing. So they have given the value of Ki, Ko, and then E by R ratio, R by C ratio. Depending upon that Ki value you can select. Okay. So this is all about the narration about the theory part, the equation, and then again how to do the comparison between straight beam and then curved beam, and equations, and some of the application also quickly I have glanced. So moment they will not be giving in most of the cases, they will be giving such kind of this thing. So machine frame and again this crane hook are there for your syllabus. And again I think other class Dr. Shivkumar Gowda is handling. So he has told that I think he will be covering some circular cross section and another one I don't know, I think he told I section, I think I or inverted T section he told. So you, what you do, you just take the problems from other class students also. So you please while listening to my video lecture, this audio video lecture, you draw on you with your this thing notebook, own notebook, so that you will be ready with notes also. Okay, so that you can just exchange. I will do very slowly. Hope this is going to be the last this thing bit. So next is going to be directly I will be switching to the problematic, and I need your feedback. So I will be generating one Google form. Probably that Google form I will put it only during your class session. Okay, so attending class is mandatory. Hope all of you are aware, because what happens if you may be also in a dilemma like why again you have to come to online, anyway videos are there, we will be comfortable like. But they have told very specifically to that again show these videos during class session. In fact, I don't know how much time it has taken all put together. They have told not to make videos more than 30 minutes. Probably I am adhering to that. So here and there some small deviation is there. Let us see. So I will just again once again show these videos, and sometime I will stop the video and then give you the link of Google form. So you have to fill that the Google form. Either that Google form may be any some sort of quick questions. So that itself is going to be your attendance. Again, separate attendance will not be there, and attending this online class is a mandatory. And again, what I have noticed, it is actually they are going to generate a common platform, that is Google class. I think Google Meet this thing sessions, wherein password that link will be sent across to you. So faculty will come according to our class timetable, and then again present this screen sharing whatever video we have. And what I have done, I don't know others how they are going to take the attendance and all. I don't want to, sir, I was there, I was not there, something this that. I don't want to. You have to be there in my time, this thing duration, whether you are really interested or what. That again this thing. So if you have any questions, what you can do, you can stop me there. Okay, you have that this thing. Other than that also, you can even ask the questions, doubts in the Google Classroom platform, which again I don't know how many of you are aware about Google Classroom. So we will see that. Okay, so I will stop it here, because if I go on telling, it will be boring for you, and for me also. I feel whether I have covered it or not covered, I feel something like that. So it is already 31 minutes of this particular slide only. Thank you.